Hi and hello everyone, this is Ravindra Babu. Welcome back to my channel Silver 90s Bionet. In the last video, we discussed a trick to remember 64 triplet codons of a genetic code, coding for 20 different types of amino acids of a polypeptide chain through a checkerboard. Today, in this part of videos of molecular basis of inheritance, we are going to talk about the salient features of a genetic code or the properties of a genetic code. Before we going to start this, here a small request. Kindly watch all my videos made on this molecular basis of inheritance for better understanding of the concepts, and one more request is please like and share the videos and subscribe my channel. Let's begin our today's topic, that is properties of a genetic code one by one. This is the first one, that is a code is a triplet. The 64 codons of a genetic code are triplet codons because the each triplet consists of 3 nucleotides, so that the 64 codons are what? Triplet codons. Out of this 64 codons, 61 triplet codons codes for 20 amino acids, whereas the 3 triplet codons, they do not code for any amino acid, and that they are involved in the termination of the process translation, hence the name stop codons. The stop codons are what? UAA, UAG and UGA. Ochre, amber, opal. And the second feature of the genetic code is unambiguous. Code is unambiguous, or the code is specific. Means a particular triplet codon always codes for a single amino acid. Say suppose for example AUG is a triplet codon which always codes for the amino acid methionine. UUU is a triplet codon which always codes for the amino acid phenylalanine. Likewise, GUG is a triplet codon which always codes for the amino acid valine. Which means the GUG is a triplet codon which never ever codes the other amino acid except valine. The UUU is a triplet codon which never ever codes other amino acid except phenylalanine. That is what we call the unambiguous nature of a genetic code, which means a particular triplet code is always specific for a single amino acid. And the third character of a genetic code is degenerate, which means the genetic code shows degeneracy. Though a single triplet codon codes for a single amino acid, but the amino acid may not always coded by a single triplet codon. For example, this phenylalanine is the amino acid, though it is coded by this UUU triplet codon. Beside this UUU triplet codon, this phenylalanine also coded by another triplet codon UUC, except methionine and tryptophan. Methionine is the amino acid coded by a single triplet codon AUG. Tryptophan is the amino acid coded by a single triplet codon UGG. Except these two, the remaining 18 amino acids of a polypeptide chain are coded by more than one triplet codons. Example, phenylalanine, which is coded by 2 triplet codons. This feature of multiple codons, what happening here? The multiple codons coding for a single amino acid is called degeneracy. This degeneracy was explained by a hypothesis called a Wobble-Base hypothesis. What we call this? Wobble-Base hypothesis. This Wobble-Base hypothesis was proposed by a scientist F.H. Crick in the year 1966. According to which multiple codons specifying a single amino acid differs by their third nucleotide or the nucleotide present at a 3' position. Say suppose for example These are the multiple codons, 4 multiple codons coding for an amino acid valine. These 4 multiple codons of valine are differing with each other by their third nucleotide. This is the third nucleotide or the nucleotide at a 3' end. The remaining 2 nucleotides of a triplet codon are common, whereas the third nucleotides or the nucleotides present at a 3' end are differing in these multiple codons of valine. These differing multiple codons of an amino acid are called Wobble bases. These Wobble bases actually lacks the specificity, which means these Wobble bases do not show complementarity with the first nucleotide of anticodon of a tRNA molecule during the process of translation. Therefore, the tRNA molecule having the anticodon CAA always brings the amino acid valine in all these 4 conditions whenever these 4 multiple codons of valine come across on the mRNA molecule during the process of translation. In addition to that, sometimes the anticodon of tRNA molecule may also consist of unusual nucleotides such as inosine. This inosine also lacks the specificity, which means this inosine do not show complementarity with these Wobble bases of these 4 multiple codons of valine. Therefore, the tRNA molecule having this CAI anticodon always brings the amino acid valine in all these 4 situations whenever these multiple codons of valine come across on the mRNA molecule during the process of translation. This is the reason behind the degeneracy of a genetic code. And the 4th character of a genetic code is continuous. Code is continuous or code is cameless, which means the nucleotides on the mRNA molecule are uninterrupted without any signals, punctuations and gaps. Most of the people write the sequence of nucleotides on the mRNA molecule with gaps to represent the triplet codons like this. This is the wrong method of representation of a sequence of nucleotides on the mRNA molecule. Actually, we need to write the sequence of nucleotides of mRNA molecule without any gaps, without any signals and without any punctuations like commas, full stops, like this: A, U, G, U, 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 A, C. The 5th property of the genetic code is the code is non-overlapping, which means no nucleotide is common for the 2 triplet codons and each triplet codon is a unit by itself. It is applicable to entire living system and all the viruses except a virus called 5XA174, where you can find the overlapping of triplet codons. So this is the RNA of 5XA174. The triplet codons may be like this. The 3rd nucleotide of the first triplet codon AUG is common for the next adjacent triplet codon GUA. This is the AUG triplet codon and this is the GUA triplet codon. Nothing but here a nucleotide is common for the adjacent triplet codons, to which what we call the overlapping of genetic code. The 6th feature of a genetic code is code is nearly universal. Nearly universal, not universal, they are saying nearly universal. You have to keep in mind, which means the unambiguous nature or the specificity of genetic code is common in entire living world. Nothing but the triplet codon AUG would code for amino acid methionine both in animals and plants. UGA is a triplet codon which actually do not code for any amino acid, which acts as a stop codon. But in the case of mitochondrial codons and codons of few protozoans, this UGA, instead of acting as a stop codon, codes for the amino acid tryptophan. Hence the property of a genetic code as nearly universal. And the seventh property is code is unidirectional, which means we should always read the codes of mRNA in 5' to 3' direction. Say suppose for example we have to read this triplet codon as AUG in 5' to 3' direction. We should not read in 3' to 5' direction as GUA. This is what the reading of a genetic code in unidirectional fashion. And the last property of a genetic code is dual functions of AUG. What are these dual functions of the triplet codon AUG? AUG, besides coding the amino acid methionine, it also acts as the initiator codon during a translation process. Lastly, in the page number 113 of NCERT textbook, they have given sequences of triplet codons of mRNA molecule like this and sequences of amino acids in a polypeptide chain like this. By providing this, they asked a question that correlate any two properties of a genetic code based on the sequence of triplet codons on mRNA and sequence of amino acids on a polypeptide chain. In this polymers of mRNA and a polypeptide chain, we can identify the two properties of a genetic code. One is degeneracy. Where can you find degeneracy here? See here, UUU codes for a phenylalanine, UUC also codes for phenylalanine. UUC codes for phenylalanine, UUU also codes for phenylalanine. That is what we call a degeneracy, to which we can find in these polymers. And the other feature of genetic code is the dual functions of AUG. Here the AUG, besides coding for the amino acid methionine, it also acts as the initial codon. This is all for today's video. In the next video, we are going to talk about a new concept, the last event of central dogma of molecular biology, translation in detail. Thanks for watching. Please like and share the videos and subscribe the channel. Vidyaya Amrutam Ashrute.